Louis Lecca. I got some special guests in the house, but before I introduce them, I got one of our regulars, Robert Garcia. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? What's happening? Good to be here.
How you doing, Robert? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
I like your setup right there. And then to the bottom, I guess left of you, we have Boshni, right? Is that the right? How are you?
How are you guys? I'm good.
All right. Where do you get that name from, by the way?
It's actually it's Twi'lek. It's the name of a stripper that used to dance for the Crimson Dawn. And it's an alias that I adopted meeting Max and Lunga through Dinner Nerds.
That's awesome. I love Star Wars. I know a lot about Star Wars, but there's still a lot of things I do not know. So feel free in the comments to talk about Star Wars or correct me every time I'm wrong, which should be 100 times a stream. And then we got Mad Max the Mandalorian. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm great. I'm happy to be on. I loved having you on the show last night. I think you're a positive dude. I want to work with you more and more. And Thanks. This is great meeting new people. I mean, we've known of each other a little bit, but we haven't really. This is our first connection yesterday and today.
Yeah. No, man, I feel like I've known you for a while. I watch your stuff. I watch a lot of YouTubers. You know, everyone has their talent, and I enjoy listening to all you guys. Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit because our audience is probably wondering about why am I not wearing the mask? Because I'm sure you're much more handsome than I am. And is there a reason for it? And it's Dr. Doom, correct?
Yeah, I have lots of masks. I have about 30 of them. This one is just the easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so much that the mad wife said, stop collecting these masks and then stop putting them in the living room. I actually got kicked downstairs. I used to do videos upstairs for Midnight Madness. Uh-huh. She's like, you don't have to actually record at midnight. And I said, that's when I'm genuine. That's when I'm maddest. And so I got kicked down here, so I started having all my masks on the dining room table. She's like, no, and stop buying them. So I'm slowing down on the masks. I have a big collection. This is one of my favorites just because I also have...
we saw the side of your cheek, man. I'm going to do a Google search. All right, that one looks scary. I know it's a Ghost Rider right there.
Wow, pretty cool.
So, and I am a madman. I don't want to be, though. Like some people like to stay angry on the internet. I was angry. I don't want to be. That's why I went with the Gray Order. I want to try to be more positive. It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially with what trends on the internet.
Yeah, it's difficult to be positive, man.
Yeah, but don't ignore things either. Still handle hard. Me and Boshti like to cover some hard topics on our channels. And check this girl. I'm wrong thing. Check this girl out. She's gonna be a star. I'm telling you. She's got it. She's
everyone point at her. Everyone point at her.
Go check out her
channel.
Put her
on the spot. Put her on the spot.
Yeah, she's got some great ideas. She's got some great topics, great videos that collabs we've had. So I'm happy we're all here.
I want to say hi to Fan Juncture and
Fan Juncture.
Yeah, and I want to say hi to Sir Nerd-A-Lot, which I really love both of you guys' name. But like I said yesterday, Sir Nerd-A-Lot reminds me of Sir Mix-A-Lot.
Yeah,
that's an awesome name, man. There's a Robert Garcia in the chat too, but I know that's you, Robert, trying to troll our people. So we have a few topics, but you already brought up the Gray Order, and I wanna ask you, what is the Gray Order? Because we know there's a lot of Star Wars chat here on YouTube, especially some of it, people unhappy, especially with the way it's going. Some people are happy. There's a lot of mixed up stuff, and a lot of the positive stuff gets, like you said, it doesn't get views. So everyone has this perception that Star Wars fans are always mad, and I don't know if that's particularly true. But what is the Gray Order? What is the Gray Order?
I was gonna let Boshti go because she's
Boshti. Go for it. You're in it.
Okay. So the Gray Order is essentially it is a Star Wars community. So we try to promote thought leadership and basically space and freedom of dialogue. So we have some tenets. Essentially, we don't we really promote safety overall. So we really try to, if there's a disagreement on perspective, we try to make sure that it is not based on things that people cannot physically change about themselves. So as long as you really adhere to just like no personal attacks on things that we physically cannot change, we're really open to like all forms, positive or negative, of discourse for a mecca of fandoms. We don't just, we're not just committed to Star Wars. We're committed, to just sci-fi and fantasy in general. So if Star Wars is a newer fandom for you, that's okay, because more than likely we have several other rooms and chats that, you can partake in, and anywhere from DC to Game of Thrones. So, we have a home and a space for people to converse for just about anybody.
That's awesome.
So it's like a healthy exchange of ideas and different perspectives.
Yes,
Robert's an expert already. What the hell, man? Were you part of the Grey Order before I knew about him?
Yeah, I kept it low key. I didn't want you to know.
He's like explaining to the Grey Order people like what the Grey Order is about over there.
We celebrate of all credence and all perspectives. Like these guys tolerate me all the time with all my like crazy like conspiracy like theory adjacent like weirdness, and I go against the grain a lot with like their perspectives, and they make me feel safe and wanted and valued constantly. And so that's kind of the message that we just promote all walks of life. And we want you to contribute and feel like you can contribute, because not all fandoms offer that kind of freedom.
Yeah. Would you like to add anything to that, Max?
I feel like I lost you guys.
Well, you might have to come in and out, Vashti. Sometimes she has that problem on there.
As long as your audio is good, it's all about audio. Your audio is great. Yeah. All right.
Well, what I want to add is a lot of the problems in fandom, beyond the property holders that own our favorite movies and nerd culture, the fandom has become a biggest problem itself to me. We have to be more welcoming to new people. When something happens and goes down in fandom, I think people just leave. That's not enough. That's not good enough anymore. Have the hard conversations, but treat people with respect, and don't say this segment of the fandom is weird. Like, I have a real issue with saying, and lots of people do this across, not just Fandom Menace, all across the board, say Raylos are weird. No, that's not cool. There's people in every segment of fandom that do things that's not cool. Everyone's welcome, and I am a Raylo, even though I haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker yet, because I think that's one of the best things about the sequel trilogy to me. I'm like, why not embrace at least that part? Enjoy that part. Yeah.
I'm a Ray Finner. Ray Finn.
Because Storm Pilot's the best ship. That's why.
No, that's cool. I'm a little bit, I guess I'm a little bit older than you guys, and I've been to conventions for a while, and I used to be the type of person that used to be the first in and the last person out. Like, I used to love being there. Now I get to them, and and that's the nerd conventions like Comic-Con or WonderCon or whatever. And Robert could be a witness to this. I can't wait to leave as soon as I get there, because it's just like, I don't meet people anymore. No one talks to each other. Everyone is like kind of like, not everyone. Like you said, it's not everyone, but it's kind of that people are growing in numbers. Like, people that we want to communicate with each other. We all have that in common, that we love fandom, like you said, right? And I think that's a little bit dying nowadays. Robert, what do you think? Have conventions you're more into them than I am, right?
Yeah, I still attend a lot. I mean, from horror conventions to, Comic-Con, WonderCon, the big Halloween convention that we have out here, Midsummer Scream. I still love conventions. I still go to them frequently. I mean, the negative that has been kind of plaguing, fandom is a lot of the negativity. And now with YouTube, everybody has a voice, which is cool. But at the same time, a lot of people don't really take into account that responsibility when you have a large audience and you start throwing a lot of negative tones, a lot of negative things or vibes, out into the fandom. But I mean, I've seen it evolve and change. I mean, I remember Comic-Con when you can, and I've told you this, when you could just walk up, get your ticket, and walk right in. I mean, those were the old days. And I think for us, I mean, it is a little bit different because we go to these events every year. We see a lot of the same people every year. So I get it. It's a little bit different, because we're there. We usually have stuff to do and things to cover for the website and the YouTube channel. So it's a little bit different for us. But the luster has worn off slightly.
Botchney, have you been and Max, have you guys been to Comic-Con or any of those
I've been to anime cons in the past.
Okay.
Because my wife loves anime. I love anime too. That's the other thing, we're experimenting with new positive content. We have a Stream Junkies show that we're working together. We want Boshti and Ren and my wife put together this Fanime Friends show where it's very welcoming to new people. That's the other thing that happens at fandom. You gatekeep, they don't know what they're talking about.
Right,
what do they call them, weeboos and stuff? And no, that's not cool anymore. If you really love the property, you want everyone to enjoy it.
Right.
And we got
I don't know your Star Wars character, that you just explained to me what character that is. And I know my Star Wars. I mean, I have usually my DVD collection. That's all I have. I have every single version of Star Wars that come out. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, there's so many special editions that have been altered and altered and altered. Right now, we happen to be in the worst stage of the original trilogy where the Return of the Jedi has Darth Vader yelling out twice, not once, but twice. He yells out no before he throws the Emperor off the ledge in that epic scene. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, guys, right? It's that's Lucas's special edition. It's like, I can't watch that. It scares me. It comes out of left field. But anyways, I think I know my Star Wars, but then I meet people like you guys and I realize I don't really know my Star Wars.
Well, I mean, that I'm a noob because I know lots of fandoms. I'm not an expert in anything.
Yeah.
Ask Lunga, ask Boshti. But I'm enthusiastic towards fandom and making new friends. And we want fandom to grow. We don't want people to leave because someone says, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
No,
you're weird." I'm sick of that. I'm the biggest weirdo on YouTube.
I like being weird too. I think that's a good thing. If they call me weird, I'm cool. Are we in us four? Could we be weird? Is that okay?
Yeah. No.
I'm already there, brother. I'm already there.
Well, look, it's like I had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday because I said, "Oh, we nerds, you nerds." He's like, "No, man, I prefer to call myself a geek." Well, it's okay. You can call yourself whatever you want, but the thing is, in the 80s, the old movie Revenge of the Nerds was a bad word.
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing is embracing that word and bringing the love to it, and bringing the proudness to it. You could be a nerd and a geek. We're all if you watch that old film, it's a really old film. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. There's all kinds of nerds. There's the jock nerd. There's the computer nerd. There's the singing nerd. There's different kind of nerds. So.
Speaking of that, I just noticed your Wheaties box. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, wait a second. Is that him on the Wheaties box?
I forgot. This is for a movie called Uncle Drew.
I think you're a legit nerd. I think it, but so am I.
Yeah. And then I got this. This was at the, let me see if you guys can see it. This actually is worth a lot.
It is?
I got this at the Mandalorian junket. Here, I love you, but no.
No, I know. I wouldn't either. I'm just
kidding.
I had to ask.
Yeah, no, man. What I have a few things. My BB-8. He's cute. My BB-8.
I have.
He's heavy too. I could. I have a few things that don't. Man, there's some crazy stuff. Christopher Reeve Superman.
I used to collect Mad Funkos. I sold them.
Yeah.
I had a rough patch and I had to sell it. I got good money for it though. I paid off some credit cards.
Before we go to our next topic, would anyone like to add anything else about Grey Order?
I was just gonna say, Blake, my name is kind of like as eccentric as like my start like to like Star Wars, like the franchise in general. Like I am not like a typical like Star Wars fan. Like I have been to cons. I am a former cosplayer, so I've done everything from
Why former?
Former, I was in an accident a couple years ago, so my ability to be upright and pose is a little limited, and so I just I don't do it nearly as much anymore. But I as a lot of like our followers over at TGO, I understand that I do operate on a cookie system. So if there's enough cookies dropped in the chat, cosplays can happen. So you'll start to see those pop up probably here pretty soon.
And I cosplay every day on YouTube.
I'm so jealous.
So am I. I'm Lex Luthor. Because I'm bald and everything. Jeffrey just asked for the link, so when we have Jeffrey pop in here.
Oh, here comes Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's Jeffrey's dope. Okay, well, let's keep it a little bit in a Star Wars tip. I know Robert hasn't seen it. Boshni, am I pronouncing that right? Or am I messing that up?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'm an expert now. Did you watch Clone Wars?
I did.
The latest episode. Mm-hmm. Max, did you also?
Yeah, we have to on the Gray Order. That's a requirement.
Okay. I did as well.
And for stream junkies, we had to.
Real quick, we got Jeffrey Harris. How you doing, Jeffrey?
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, Jeffrey.
So please introduce yourself, Max, Boshni.
Hi,
Jeffrey.
Hello.
Jeffrey Harris, Hollywood Purgatory here.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm going to leave it up to Jeffrey. We already started streaming. I sent you the link earlier, but I guess there was a mix-up. But anyways, our next topic right here is going to be Clone Wars. I did see it. Robert's the only one that did not see it. So overall, I want to know what you guys thought of the first episode. They only showed one, right? So far?
Yeah.
Just one.
So let's start. Jeffrey, since you just got here, real quick, what were you satisfied? Does it feel different? Is this what you expected?
I thought it was fairly average. I don't think it was bad. I think it was neat to see the Bad Batch, which I feel like we've been hearing about these characters forever. And here's my problem with Clone Wars. It doesn't fit with the prequel trilogy. To me, it's its own thing. These characters, these plots do not work with any of the established canon of the movies or the established characters. And if I look at it as its own thing, I think the show is fine. But I think what I've seen so far, like these clones are not like the clones in the movies. They are their own. They have their own personalities. They have pathos. They have unique traits. The characters in the movies never had that. They were never this developed and fleshed out. And that's fine. I mean, when you tell an episodic series, you have to do that. But it does it make the prequels better? No, but as its own story, it's a decent series. But as something to fit in with the continuity, I don't think Clone Wars fits in with the continuity of the films, and I don't think it ever did, no matter what anyone says.
All right.
I loved it. It validated a lot of suspicions for me. I had a suspicion that there was a genetic experimentation or just genetic variables, super strength, force sensibility, size, stature, appearance, all of these things were included in the experimentation and the development of the clones. So it does kind of bring some interesting context to The Mandalorian, in my opinion. But as a first episode, I won't say it was the strongest, but it did not deter me from looking forward to the rest of the season. The strength of the trailer alone really kind of sold me, so I'm pretty much like set in for the long haul.
Max,
I loved it. I love the Clone Wars because it gives depth to these characters instead of just cannon fodder. I think that's that's the problem with all of the even the original trilogy. The troopers are just cannon fodder. They get taken out so easy. If in the future, I want to see more dynamic stormtroopers and intensity from them. Even not even just like Sith Lords like Kylo or whatever. I want to see danger and seeing their story too. You really feel attached to these clone troopers. And the new Bad Batch, they were cool. There were some things I didn't like about the episode. Like I thought the one that picked up the plane was kind of silly. Like, what do we have, superheroes now? He doesn't even have 4 sense of he's a superhero. He's on roid. Yeah, but overall though, I loved it. And I think I heard that the next episode might be undercover Obi-Wan. I don't know if you guys heard of that. He might be going undercover as a bounty hunter. Just to give a little glimpse to the next episode.
Robert, I know you didn't see it. Are you excited to watch it, or what do you think of?
I remember the original series in what year was it? 2002, 2003, I want to say. When it first premiered, and it was hard for me to get into it. I did watch some of the episodes when it first came out. Then, but I mean, and maybe it's just my own ignorance or not ignorance, but being stubborn, is that for me, Star Wars has always just been the movies, some novels, but it was hard for me to just get into the animated series. I never really, found a spot where I really thought, I got to see the next episode. I would watch it casually. Same with Rebels. I watched it casually. There were some episodes that I actually absolutely did want to see. But I think it's just a personal thing. I don't think it's a bad series. I don't think it's horrible. But yeah, it's just something I just can't get into. I wish I could, but I just don't have that spot in me for it. So
I have to agree slightly with Robert as far as, like, to me, Star Wars are the movies. But when I see the animation do Star Wars better than the movies, it just pisses me off even more because I want to see the stuff in the movies, I wanted to see the wills in the movies. I wanted to see, the how the power of becoming one with the Force happened. Because I know there was it Rebels or Clone Wars? You guys could correct me on that, where we actually saw Qui-Gon Jinn become one with the Force and talk to Yoda about coming back from being dead.
Clone Wars.
That was the Clone Wars.
That was beautiful. That was great. But I wanted to see that in the movie. There's actually a scene in Revenge of the Sith where it cuts real quick. You see Yoda meditating at the end, and it's like an abrupt cut. And rumor has always had that there's actually a scene where not Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson is talking to Yoda, telling him, "Hey, I learned to become one with the Force, and it's a power I'm going to show you, and you show Luke."
It's in the script.
It's in the script, yeah. But there's also a rough cut there, and there's always been the rumor that that's been filmed. But anyways, as far as
writing and storytelling in a Star Wars prequel, who would have thought?
That's not a bad.
Oh man, you're throwing heat on my prequels. I love the prequels.
Yes, the roar. Anyways, let me give you my opinion on Clone Wars.
That's the epitome of bad writing and storytelling.
Jeffrey, hold on.
I'm not wrong.
Jeffrey, you're a little madman yourself, man. I gotta check out your channel.
Well, we're gonna go free for all a little bit after this.
Oh, free for all.
Yeah. Listen, so real quick, I like the episode, but I like the episode. I'll keep watching, and I give it. I want to ask you guys a grade, okay? So I'm gonna give it 6.5, 7 out of 10. Jeffrey, your grade or number out of 10?
B+.
Okay, Boshni?
I'll give it 6 cookies.
I like that. 6 cookies, and is there 10 cookies is the maximum?
10 is the max.
Okay, so we're around the same wavelength. And Max?
I would go 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot.
Okay, so cool. 8 out of 10. Don't forget, we are having a poll at the Nerd Report on Twitter. Are you going to buy this? The question is, are you going to buy The Rise of Skywalker on Blu-ray or digital code or whatever it is? But the question is, are you going to buy it when it's available at home entertainment? So are you going to actually want to own the movie? Let me know. Let us know on Twitter, the Nerd Report. Okay, free for all, real quick. Bonus round since Jeffrey brought it upon us. Real quick, the prequels, good or bad? I'm just gonna mute this. Go.
Uh-oh.
Amazing.
Bad.
Amazing.
Why?
Look at all
Why?
it expanded the universe instead of closing it down like the sequels.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
There you go.
Ewan McGregor. If you need one thing, Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan.
Why? Because it was heavily guided by George Lucas.
Yeah.
But there were definitely some elements that were overdone. The writing.
Midichlorians.
I'm down with the midichlorians.
You like them?
I do like it. I do like a concept of a little force, like spirit being in my blood.
Is it a spirit being, or is it actually like you would look at the back of a label and like how much protein does this have? How much midichlorian does it have? What's the percent?
I mean, if I had to think of it as like a fifth element, like a element of like my DNA, that's kind of the way that I think about it. But it's just like, how do you quantify, like inspiration, or artistic ability? It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, it's an energy, some people can, some people are empaths and can feel more into that and, harness that for certain things, some good, some really bad, manipulation, unconditional love,
Well, the problem is the problem I have with midichlorians. I felt like when they were introduced, like in my mind, anyone that believed and that trained hard could become a Jedi.
Mhm.
That's what. And then when the midichlorians, I was like, wait, this is in your blood. So okay, I guess, but then you can't get married and reproduce. So
did you read the tales of Luke Skywalker?
No.
In the book, and I guess it's essentially canon because it was published by Disney Lucas Books. But essentially, like, the Force can to some degree be felt by all living beings, and the variance on which you can control it, manipulate it, tap into it also varies in degree. There are other people who are just as force sensitive as Jedi who literally only utilize the Force for fishing. And it's really just about how you wield it. And so I can buy into it being down at almost like a genetic level, because if you really kind of think about like Maz Kanata, if you think about Finn, they literally could sense it at almost like a genetic level, almost like Force empaths, but they just didn't have the training, to be able to wield it in certain, strengths or in certain, degrees. So it's just, I don't know.
And this is the kind of stuff I really appreciate everyone who's on today, because I want this kind of discussion, this kind of like expansion of the Star Wars universe that I didn't know about. Robert, you've been a little quiet, and you're in the middle. You're in the middle of this feed. So all eyes on Robert. Everyone point at Robert. I want to ask you a question, Robert. Everyone point at Robert. Okay. Robert, when during your time, I don't know if I'm not going to get into your personal life, but when you used to go out on dates, did you ever tell any woman, I wish I could wishly wish these wishes away or these feelings away, like in episode 2? Anakin told, I'm just wondering if that's a good line. I don't know. Do you ever say, I wish I could wishly wish the wish line? Because I don't, man, was that a good line, Robert? Did you use that during your disco era?
Disco era. So we know George Lucas is not one of the most poetic writers when it comes to screenplay.
That's not my question. Did you use that?
I never used any of George Lucas's lines to pick up any women, just to say that. But let me go back to the Force and the midichlorians. I think what really I don't want to say caused a divide, but just was a letdown for a lot of fans who were fans of the original trilogy, was when Yoda in Dagobah tries to explain the Force to Luke, and it's very mystical. It's very almost like like
it's not this. Nothing matters. This crude matter. He actually holds Luke and tells him.
It's very much a play on just mystical powers and things that sometimes can't be explained. And when we got to the prequels, and it's like midichlorians, it's science. Here's why. It was
that's the way you felt.
It was a little bit of a letdown and kind of a how can I say, just something that, for a lot of original trilogy fans, like, hey, that's not how Yoda explained it, because that scene was very touching. I remember it as a kid. I mean,
you remember that?
I remember sitting in the drive-in and Yoda sitting in the swamp explaining the Force to Luke, saying, it's not this crude matter, it's around us, and I remembered that. And then when we got to the prequels, and explaining midichlorians, and it's like, wait, what's it? I don't get that, So I just think that's what, a little bit of the, it was a little bit too much of a science in explaining why there are those that are force sensitive and those who are not. So
fair enough.
That was just my thought on it.
I personally, we could go on forever on this. Maybe this should be a stream on someone's channel for a while, but I would like to move on to things, because this is just like endless discussion.
I hate to do Last this, word. But I actually have to go. I'm double booked for a stream, but Lewis, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
And Robert, it was wonderful to meet you. And Jeffrey, it was nice to meet you as well. And
thank you.
Yeah, we'll connect again soon, I promise.
Talk about your channel. Where can everyone follow you?
Oh, yes. You guys can find me here at Life Adjacent Podcast. It's a relatively small channel. I've only had it for a month, but
Dynamite is small, just so you guys know. Dynamite is small, but it packs a punch.
Yeah, but I did recently do a review of Birds of Prey. So if you guys are DC fans and you wanted to see maybe my take of Birds of Prey, go ahead and check it out. It's my most
thank you for coming.
Video. Yeah, thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye, Boshi. See you later.
Great work. Great discussion. Intergalactic Mojito, The Rise of Skywalker, made me love the Phantom Menace. Prequels have a place, good or bad. We all go through them together. She always has all the, Intergalactic Mojito, I miss you, and you better not disappear like you have.
I'd like one of those. Can I have an
Intergalactic Mojito?
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love everything about the prequels.
Yeah.
I love everything. Jar Jar, everything. Because it reminds me of George.
George
loves Jar Jar.
If people were nicer about the prequels all those years ago, George Lucas might not have sold the franchise. So it's your fault.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. It's everyone's fault.
It's the fandom's fault. It's the fans' fault.
Sure.
Not all
Indiana
of them.
Jones too.
Anyone who's upset about the sequels or what Disney has done with Star Wars, it's your fault because you chased Lucas away from Star Wars.
Yeah.
But didn't you just say wait, Jeffrey? But didn't you just say you don't like the prequels?
I don't.
So it's your fault too. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
I will say this. I
never said he raped my childhood.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good thing.
Okay. Moving on.
They're bad movies. I own it. I accept it.
Okay. I own them a few times. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys my least favorite Star Wars movie is Star Wars Episode 2, and then I'm gonna show you something real quick. Star Wars Episode 2. That's the problem.
Oh, you still got the VHS.
I got the VHS, man. Nah, it's mint. I got this too. Watch. This is a great documentary. I think you could still see it on YouTube. This is awesome. From Star Wars to Jedi.
Cool.
Yes, check that out. It could be
that might be worth something because you don't really get the documentaries on VHS. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to sell it. I just have them as a prop and everything. But so let's move on to our next topic. And everyone, I'm gonna get to your comments. So please keep going with them. And eventually when we're done with ours, we'll go ahead and go through your comments real quick. We're still trying to get the hang of this. And also on Twitter, the question is The Rise of Skywalker on Blu-ray. Are you going to buy it? Head over to the Nerd Report That's at the Nerd Report, and vote now. Okay, I think it's pretty even right now. I'm gonna get it no matter what.
Oh, I didn't vote on that yet.
Yeah, at the Nerd Report. Yeah, if you could share that, that'd be great. So, all right, anyone here into horror? We have
yes.
Okay, I think this is gonna be right up my alley, and I think Robert's. I don't know if you other guys. So we know that The Invisible Man is gonna be hitting theaters this weekend, right? Or this weekend?
Oh, I'm seeing that tomorrow.
What time, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, 7:00 or oops.
At the ArcLight?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you there. I'll see you there.
You guys are doing the press screening for it?
Yeah. Do you have a +1, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Were you going to be able to go?
I can't go tomorrow.
Well,
kiddos are
it's
home.
6:00. It's 6:00.
Okay. Well, anyway,
we can say that, can't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we could say we're going to watch it. So I'm excited for The Invisible Man. If you don't know about it, The Invisible Man is now, I think, is going to be the first step for Universal, because Universal distributes Blumhouse. They kind of failed with their Mummy film. The Mummy film was more of an action adventure, and then horror took a back seat. They were trying to imitate the MCU, like in my opinion, like many have tried and failed.
Dark universe.
Correct. And I like Tom Cruise in it. It has nothing to do with Tom Cruise, but I'm going to tell you, now Blumhouse is going to try it. Blumhouse is straight horror. I think this is going to work. Tomorrow they start the thing off with The Invisible Man, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about right now is that there has been a report that the Candyman trailer, Jordan Peele produced, is going to hit real soon. That's
why were you talking about Invisible Man?
Because it's going to be attached to The Invisible Man. They're the same distributors.
It's rumored to be on the theatrical release, that the trailer is going to play with the theatrical release.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm excited for this film, but I'm not a fan of the original. I'm going to start with it's just you'll get your turn. Max, were you a fan of the original? Are you looking forward to these films, or what's up with you?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not too much in the horror. I'm open to it though. My wife loves it. It kind of scares me, and I wear masks on YouTube too, so that might be I mean, that might be, people might be like, sack up or something. You're wearing masks on the YouTube. Why don't you like horror movies? But yeah, I appreciate them. I love practical effects in horror movies.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been following this Invisible Man that's coming out. I didn't even know, honestly. I'm a fail. I missed that one completely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's why we all work off each other, man. That's a great thing.
Yeah. Who's starring in it?
Well, let's see. Jeffrey, are you? Let me look it up.
Elizabeth Moss. Elizabeth Moss is in it. That's who I know. And then I think related to Joel Edgerton, who actually was wasn't he
Nash Edgerton?
Yeah. I know those two. Those are the only two names I remember. I can't recall who's playing the Invisible Man as far as the voice and everything.
Jeffrey, what are your thoughts on the it's not okay, so from what I understand, a Candyman, it's not really a remake, it's a continuation of the original film, because the original actor, Robert, his name escapes me.
Tony
Todd is still in there. So what are your thoughts? Were you a fan of the original? Are you excited for this?
I was not a fan of the original, and I'm not excited about the new movies.
Jesus, guys.
Man, Jeffrey, I like you. You're a tough audience, though. Everything.
I'm not saying they're bad movies. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I don't think the originals, I mean, they were decent, like low budget horror. I think Tony Todd had a good sort of image as sort of like the horror movie boogeyman, but I was never really into those films. I never saw any of them in theaters. To me, we're just continuing like this constant stream of rehashes.
Okay.
Instead of making new original films and stories and telling new stories.
That's true.
Okay, but okay, so
I have no interest. I have no interest in yet another rehash.
Jeffrey,
Jeffrey, he throws heat out.
No, Jeffrey's dope. I love Jeffrey. I always have him here. Jeffrey, to be fair though, it's the fans' fault, because when Hollywood makes, I'm sorry, when Hollywood creates original content, it bombs.
Yeah.
People don't go to those.
There's plenty of blame to go around. I blame society too. I blame
He's so good. See, you can't get him. He blames society on that
I
shit.
blame our culture.
Damn.
I love Jeffrey.
I blame our social media nostalgia obsessed culture. People like the idea of nostalgia better than the actual reality, which is usually, I mean, never as good. Nostalgia is crippling.
This
it's like an
Invisible
addictive
Man,
drug.
Real quick. Robin, a longtime watcher. Thank you, Robin, for supporting this channel for years.
Hey, Robin.
How you doing?
Hey, Robin.
This Invisible Man looks way better than Kevin Bacon's version. But okay, fair. But the Kevin Bacon version was not the Invisible Man. It was actually
the Hollow Man,
which was a rip-off of the Invisible Man, but it's not really Invisible Man. And I don't even think this film looks like the original Man. Maybe I should watch that tonight before watching The Invisible Man. And that was confusing even to say, and my eyes are twisted. But as my eyes are twisted, let's check out the trailer since Max has not seen it. You want to check out the trailer?
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Let's do that. Let's check that out real quick. And then I think I still need to get Robert's opinion on this. So, Robert, I have not forgotten.
Handmaid's Tale.
Let's check that out real quick.
This is the actress from Handmaid's Tale.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, audio's good.
Adrian, he was a sociopath. He said that I could never leave him. He controlled how I looked and what I wore. Then I was controlling when I left the house. And eventually, what I thought. I'm sorry, I can't take you with me. I'm not gonna leave you with that thing on. Are you okay?
Get back here! Ooh.
What happened to him?
Adrian's dead. Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay?
He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him. Adrian is dead. He's not dead. He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Are you okay?
He's sitting in that chair.
Money shot coming.
Ooh. This is great.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna make big box.
Wait, what's up? Why does this keep going here? I think this is an extension. I'm gonna just stop it because this is combining with the old trailers. Let me see if I can get out of here.
I like the way it's shot. I like the actress. I watched a little bit of Handmaid's Tale. That pulled me in, and I'm not a big horror fan.
Yeah, so horror's fun, Max. You should really give it a chance. You know, I think even the crappy horror is good. I got a question right here from Chris. Chris is asking, so Invisible Man is a horror movie? Question mark. It looks like a horror movie, but the original, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if these films back in the day were considered super scary. It looks scary, and then he continues, it looks scary. How was Hansel and Gretel? I did see that one, and I did think the movie was very low budget, and there were a few scares, very good scares there, and
this
some
movie is
the cinematography. Yeah, but I think Hansel and Gretel had way less. Like so that one.
Invisible Man cost $7 million.
What about Hansel and Gretel? I want to share Boshni's channel real quick. I didn't see it was in the private, but
yeah.
So you guys go on the chat and follow her, and I really think she's someone
Gretel and Hansel not Hansel and Gretel. Gretel and Hansel, the movie, cost $5 million. So Invisible Man, this new Invisible Man movie only cost a little bit more, going by the reported figures. Around the same range, basically.
I think
we'll
it's
see
gonna be
tomorrow.
A surprise hit. I think it's gonna be a surprise hit. I think people are gonna like it.
Robert, Candyman. Thoughts?
We're going back to Candyman.
Well, yeah, I didn't get your thoughts on it. The trailer dropping.
So yeah, the trailer's not out yet. It's supposed to be out sometime this week. I loved the original. I grew up on 1980s horror films. I spent my childhood inside of video stores. So I absolutely love Candyman. I'm looking forward to this movie. Executive produced by Jordan Peele. So looking forward to it. I love Tony Todd too. The dude's awesome.
Great voice.
I got a chance to talk to him for he did the voice of Darkseid for Reign of the Supermen.
Yeah.
And he's a super cool dude. He's actually going to be he's returning to that voice role very soon.
Show off. That in, right?
Hey,
that you talked to him.
No, well, we were invited tonight to go see or to go do the red carpet. Remember?
Hey, Robert, who's the director of Candyman?
Oh my gosh, the director of this one, I don't know.
It's Nia DaCosta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jordan Peele is he's co-writing and producing.
Right. But it's still the story by Clive Barker, so it's still connected to that universe. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge Candyman fan.
Jordan, I don't like the original. I do feel that Jordan Peele is a little bit like iffy. I did like not the first film we made, but the other one.
How is this new film connected to the original films?
We haven't watched it yet.
I don't know.
It has the same actor. It has Tony Todd.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why connected to the original films?
Because people like Tony Todd. Save money on.
Tony Todd is not the Candyman in the film. It's a new Candyman, right?
I mean, it could, just be like a tip of the hat to the original film, acknowledging the original film, and then the story will take off from there. But yeah, I don't know how it's connected. That's why I'm anticipating the trailer. Abdul-Mateen
I think he's gonna be Candyman in it, and that guy's awesome. He was an Aquaman. He's a great guy. I hope it's successful for him, because I like the way he carries himself. He's a cool dude. But yeah, we'll see what's up with that.
Have you been covering the Thing remake that they're planning to do, or what are your thoughts on that?
You want to add on a Thing remake, a complete remake? Let us know about that. What's up with that? I did hear a little bit about it.
They found some source material from the original book, so they're saying, but it also could be because I got a friend that's really into horror. The Thing is his favorite. The John Carpenter Thing is his favorite horror movie of all time. And he thinks it's just spin for marketing, like how much they really find, and they really shouldn't. He's concerned about it because
the story kind of goes that they found more, more script or something like that.
Yeah, an expanded manuscript of Who Goes There, which is the original title for the short story the Thing was based on.
That's fascinating, though. That's fascinating.
An additional 45 pages that nobody has ever seen.
I didn't know that part. I didn't know it was 45 pages. That's could be substantial adding to the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could see how marketing they could try to spin it like we have to do it because we have this new source material. But 45 pages, that's
So it's apparently an attempt to readapt the original novel. They're saying the original novel, which was originally titled Frozen Hell, that's apparently been lost. Now, I don't even know if this is true. This could be. I don't even know if this is legit. This could just be a way to kind of make an excuse to remake. I hope it never sees the light of day.
Dude, Max, you got to get Jeffrey on the show. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, he's more of a madman than I am.
The 1982 Thing is a classic movie.
Yes, it is.
It's also a remake.
Horror.
It's a remake.
But
throwing your logic right at you.
Of a cheesy 1950s B movie.
Yeah, but
you can remake that.
But back then, that was not cheesy. That was not considered cheesy.
It wasn't a remake. It was a readaptation.
Yeah,
It was more faithful to the original story. The Thing 1982 is perfection. You can't improve on perfection. There's no point. They already tried this, Lewis. They tried this in 2011.
Yeah.
It was
sound like my friend.
It was a complete and utter failure. It bombed. Not only that, they used horrendous CG effects that they used to cover up all the they drew CG over all the practical effects, and it looked awful.
This is exactly what my friend said yesterday.
It practically ruined Mary Elizabeth Winstead's career. It hurt her career more than Scott Pilgrim ever did. And she's a good actress.
A couple weeks ago, I asked you, what do you think of Sonic before you saw it? And I never came back to it. You said it wasn't going to be good. What did you think of it after you saw it?
It was passable.
It
was a passable family movie.
From my limited time with Jeffrey, I think that means it's pretty good.
It could have been worse. It could have been an abomination. At least Sonic looked good. And Jim Carrey, I'll admit, Jim Carrey is the best thing about that movie, but he's not even playing Dr. Robotnik. And all the human stuff is dumb. The main story, I mean, it's passable. I can see why it's a hit, because Sonic fans are happy that the executives at Paramount listened to them, and they reanimated Sonic to look more like the games, and they ditched that horrible, abominable design that would have made the movie bomb. And Jim Carrey is admittedly he works in the movie.
Man. I don't know. I don't know if the story sucks. It doesn't mean it doesn't.
You have the right to be wrong, Lewis.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Sonic looks if it was just boring.
I have a Jarbo theory. A Matt Jarbo.
Matt Jarbo?
Yeah.
He's watching. I know he is.
He is watching? Well, he says his theory, and I actually think it could be onto something, is that the whole first trailer with the bad Sonic might have been a marketing ploy to say we listen to fans, because he heard some sources that they only really reworked the trailer.
That's fake news, and I'll tell you why.
Fake news. Oh.
The movie was supposed to come out in November.
Okay.
And delaying a movie like that pushing it back to reanimate it, which costs first of all, that cost them millions of dollars and added millions of more dollars to the budget. Not to mention they had to overhaul their whole marketing campaign. Not to mention they had probably merchandising materials ready to go for that design. So that costs money, and that's just a whole additional cost they added on to the movie. But in doing so, they were able to save the movie, and the movie ultimately became a hit. So they had to spend a lot more money. They spent like multi-millions of dollars in order to do that. And movie studios do not like doing that generally. But sometimes they'll spend millions of dollars on reshoots, like with Ghostbusters or Justice League, and then it bombs, and then like they're in the red. But they did it for Sonic, and it paid off. Sometimes it happens.
But if they had to redo the whole movie, don't you think they had to delay it longer though?
They didn't redo the entire movie.
They didn't redo the entire movie.
The only thing that was really finished was the trailer.
Okay. But they delayed the movie from November to February.
Here's my question though. If you look at the end product, it looks more basic, hence less time consuming to create than what they were going for. Because it seemed like they were going for, let's have a real hedgehog in the movie. So they put all these little hairs.
It was nothing was very real about that.
Teeth. It looked like an attempt to make it real, right? The teeth, the tongue. So what they ended up doing is like I want to say a Looney Tune cartoon as his face, which worked out better. But what we got is Sonic in the movie is actually the only thing that's like a cartoon placed in a real life scenario, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So
Are we still talking about Sonic? Really?
Yeah. Did you watch it?
No.
What? You're against Sonic?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not against. I want to see it, but I'll probably just wait. I think I am going to have to take my wife to see.
That's because a team of great animators at the moving picture company in Vancouver, Canada, they busted their behinds to fix Sonic's design and redesign the character, and then their studio was shut down in December for their efforts.
I didn't know
800 visual effects artists working overtime saved that movie. And they all got fired for their efforts.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's sad. And especially since now it's a hit.
This is documented.
It's documented. It's not El Jarbo theory. It's documented.
Hey, listen. So we got Chris. He says, I think after Detective Pikachu and now the Sonic movie, I have a theory that they're going to make a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate movie like the MCU.
How?
Well, because
how?
Okay, first you get a director, you get a script. I don't know.
I mean, this is a viewer.
There's a Mario movie that's in the works.
You shut things down quick. This is a viewer having a.
It's an animated movie from Illumination, the Despicable Me people.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that that's weird is like they want to modify Mario's voice because they feel it's going to be offensive to the Italian community. I'm like, dude, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I would. Okay, so my thing is, if they're going to do that, could you please do this? If you're going to take out the Italian, accent, could you please make it a Cuban accent? Because us Cubans, we want. Like, that'd be awesome. Oye, coño, Mario, coño, chica.
I already know what I'm going to make my video this week. Mario goes woke. They removed it.
Well, I heard
Charles Martinet was not even the original voice of Mario.
Who was?
I mean, they had the cartoons in the 80s and 90s. Remember?
Just had Mario Lopez do it.
Lou Albino. It was the wrestler, Captain Lou Albano. Albano, right?
Yeah, I think they're a little scared because they all remember the John Leguizamo movie, which was pretty dope. Okay, so Robert's falling asleep, so we're gonna go ahead and change the topic. Something Robert knows more about, and I know he's more interested in this because I keep getting emails from him and messages every 5 seconds. Oh, when are we going? When are we going to Cinemacon? When are we going to Cinemacon? what time do I pick you up? What time do I pick you up? All right. But before we go to Cinemacon, don't forget we have a poll. Are you going to buy the Rise of Skywalker Blu-ray or any version of it to watch in the comfort of your own home? Let us know on our Twitter at The Nerd Report. Vote now. I think it's pretty close, the voting and stuff. I am definitely going to get it. But Robert, could you explain real quick? We went last year to Cinemacon. Mm-hmm. It's not like Comic-Con. It's different, but it's still a con. How is it different? What is it? Go, all you, baby.
Cinemacon is a industry-only event that highlights movies that are coming to cinemas only. So it doesn't include streaming services, does not include previews from Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon original content, does not include any of that. It's solely for the purpose of putting big productions in movie theaters. So along with that, I mean, they have it's a lot of fun. They have this giant showroom where they hand out free popcorn, candy, hot dogs, sodas, ices, everything that you're going to find in the concession stand at your local cinema is there, and it's free. They give it to you. So and then along with that, it's technology, seats, new projectors, digital projectors, all the stuff associated with cinema. But the highlight for us when we go is the panels that each studio presents. So Walt Disney is kicking it off on Monday, and they're going to present their film slate for 2020. And that includes Pixar, that includes Walt Disney Animation, that includes feature films. It encompasses everything with the Disney studio. And then Universal is going to present their slate of films the following day. So each day is designated for each studio. What it is, it's kind of a highlight because when we go to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con or WonderCon, the big panels, the highlights are usually, the studios bringing their their latest film to Comic-Con to, get it out there, let the fans know, let everybody know, hey, this is what we're bringing for the spring or the summer. And it's usually impossible to get into those panels unless, you're camping out, you're waiting in line, basically losing all of your time waiting in line at a Comic-Con. But one of the advantages at Cinemacon is, if you do get to go, all you have to do is reserve your space, and you show up in the morning, pick up your ticket, and then you go over to Caesar's Palace main, I don't know, the Celine Dion room. That's all I know that it is. It's where she sings her concert, but that's where they do all the presentations, and usually the actors from the films will come out, introduce their films. But that's really the highlight, is seeing all the new movies that are going to be coming out for the full year.
And also, what we did, we saw a trailer for Joker. And
we did. We saw it the day before it was actually released. So it was cool that we got a little drop as far as getting to review the trailer. And I said it then. I remember I told you, I think Mike Sandoval was with us too.
Yeah.
That trailer with that movie, it's not the Joker, but Joker is going to completely change the landscape for superhero movie or comic book movies. That's what I said. It's going to completely change it based off of that trailer. And I mean,
that's the presentation right there. That's inside Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
We were there. Maybe my head's sticking up there because I was sitting around the left side, but because I have a kind of a big head, you could see it anywhere. But so Todd Phillips comes out and he goes, "The studio, remember this, man?" And we didn't know anything about the movie at all.
Right.
And he goes, "The studio asked me to describe this film." I was thinking, because I'm known for comedies, is it a comedy? And he goes, "No, it's a fucking tragedy." And the lights dimmed and freaking smile. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It looked like freaking Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight. We were like, oh.
Yeah.
And we ran outside and reviewed it, man.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. We ran right outside. Right. I think because there's just throngs of people coming out, but we walked down a little bit, and we reviewed the trailer right there. Gave our thoughts on what the trailer, what it was, what we saw. But I remember after seeing that trailer, I completely thought, man, this is going to change the comic book movie, man. It's taking it to a whole nother level. And I think that's why I was a little disappointed with Birds of Prey, because after just seeing Joker, and then Birds of Prey, it seemed like two completely different universes, which is fine. But I mean, Joker is just at such a level for me.
Yeah, it's different.
It's hard to make that comparison with other movies now.
And we're trying to get Jeffrey. We told Jeffrey about it. He's still trying to wait for confirmation. Jeffrey, are you any?
Nope.
No, I'm sorry, man. Max,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, Max, we would love in your channel if you want. We're gonna have boots on the floor. Me, Robert, hopefully Jeffrey. On there, we would love to come in if you want us to pop into your channel during that weekday. It's the weekday, and just like give you an update. Hey, we saw this, we saw that. Maybe give you a little bit of a little scoop, and you guys could just run with it. Maybe a little bit. I know you're giving us a lot here on this channel by bringing your audience in, and then we could give you a little bit. Our way is we could help you is also give you a little bit of like, hey, this is a little preview of what's coming up.
I don't know a lot about Cinemacon, but I think in the past, my man James Cameron, which I'm still a fan of, he's one of those that I really appreciate his movies. I think in real life he might be a jerk, but I like him though.
He was nice. He was nice when I met him, so that's all that matters. During work.
But the other thing is, this is the type of event that he would present new technology.
You're right.
Avatar 2. So I'm hoping
the trailer, maybe.
Or just some new technology that they're going to need for Avatar 2 to the other reason that's been held up is that that 60 frames per second they tried with The Hobbit. People didn't really like it. That was what he was going to do with Avatar before it got delayed. He was going to go focus on that and make the 3D better, and then hopefully TVs, but people weren't going for it. Remember that?
I think he's going to go glasses free 3D. I think that's what he's waiting for.
It's very possible. They've talked about it. He's been quiet.
How would that even work?
I don't. Well, I've seen it done, man. All you have to do is add the filter on the forescreen before you see the movie. Let me tell you something, Jeffrey. I own an Oculus Quest, and I could watch 3D films in 3D inside a virtual theater. Looks better than any movie I've ever seen in 3D.
I'm a fan of 3D too.
So it would be like a giant 3D.
It'll be no glasses. Like, I usually wear glasses. I used to wear glasses. It bothered me, so, I mean, I think that's
I don't even like 3D.
I like the option. I like being able to do it when I want and have the regular picture. I still have a 3D TV in my living room.
I don't think I've seen good 3D. I think the last good 3D I saw was Captain EO.
What about, did any of you see the Terminator, the Universal one in Universal Studios? The Terminator 2?
Yes. Yeah, that's a theme park attraction though.
Yeah, but that was cool, man. The T1 million. That was cool. But there we go. Cinemacon. I'm gonna ask Robert and I. We want to get a good camera crew there. We want to get, it's gonna cost us a bit to get there. So we're gonna probably have a little bit of a fundraiser to get us over there, and stuff like that. And we'll give you guys some sort of exclusive if you guys support us or anything like that. It'd be cool, because this thing's gonna cost a pretty penny to head over there, get the hotel, have the right equipment and the food and everything and stuff and gas. It's just crazy. But if you guys could support us, it'd be great. There's a few options there in the description. Whatever you could do, $1, whatever, goes a long way.
Hey,
for chips.
What do you think we're gonna see at CinemaCon this year?
Well, really quick, Triangle Productions is asking what CinemaCon trailers are you guys excited for? So along the lines is that
okay, let's get into the nitty gritty here. I think Max, I hope I'm not making you stay too long, but I want to know your opinion here. You talked about, you touched about on something interesting. I think we're going to get an Avatar too. What do you think, Max?
I mean, that's the man to look for at this event. I mean, he's finally getting movement. It's going to be 2021. Everyone counts him out like every time. People, it's just like the prequels. People like the trash on Avatar after the fact, but when it was in the theaters, people were all about it. So give him the benefit of the doubt. He's going to do something cool. Yes, it's similar to other stories, Pocahontas, Ferngully, but he pushes the technology. He delivers on the action. And I don't think that the movie industry has been pushing special effects, at least the digital version, since that. If you look at special effects now, it hasn't really progressed past Avatar. I want the push forward. No one else is doing that. And he's one of the last creators of a franchise that's still at the helm of it. So that's the other reason I want to support it.
So you're saying you're going to go for this event, CinemaCon, and that's a really good prediction for someone who's not been there. I'm assuming you're just looking at the trailer.
Well, I followed James Cameron in the past. Like when Avatar first came out, I went to the 10-minute preview. I think I still have my bracelet. I was all ready for it. This man does great stuff. Again, personally, I think but he gets his vision done. That's the other reason you have to.
The Russo brothers shot movies entirely with IMAX cameras.
Jeffrey, real quick, I want to do a quick James Cameron story. I think you'd like this one, Max. So I was my friend who used to be Stan Lee's manager. He invited me to watch Avatar right here in Burbank. So we get to the theater. He's like, "Yeah, dude, Stan can't come, so I'm gonna have you as a +1." So I'm watching the movie, and like all these huge stars are there: Orlando Bloom, Roman Emmerich. And so we get a Q&A after with James Cameron, right? So after it's all done, we're all kicking back outside in the lobby. And it was the day before the movie's release. So we're talking Thursday night. Friday's about to come in. So they're about to show Avatar. And I'm standing with James Cameron, and all these people start running into the theater. like literally pushing James Cameron to the side, like just like, ugh. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I forgot that the movie was premiering. So we got like thousands of James Cameron fans didn't realize James Cameron was right in front of them. So they were like stomping over him to watch a James Cameron movie. So it was pretty funny.
You can't be too mad then, because they're like, we want to see his movie. That is funny.
When I realized what was going on, I was like, man, that's funny. Jeffrey, Cinemacon, what do you think's gonna happen? Who's gonna win it?
Christopher Nolan. Hopefully something with Tenet.
Good prediction. I think it's gonna be huge with Tenet. Definitely on
That's
that.
Good prediction.
Now talk about a guy pushing the medium forward with his way he continues to use film and to film large scale sequences with IMAX cameras. That's what I think filmmakers should be doing instead of garbage with 3D, which is garbage.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Jeffrey. That is a great thing to do as well. But I also like CG.
I can't forgive James Cameron for re-releasing Terminator 2 in 3D, which looked horrible.
Jeffrey, to be fair though, Jeffrey, I do agree with you. Christopher Nolan, to me, he's number one for me. But what Christopher Nolan's trying to do is something from the past. He's bringing in the film. He's bringing in. He's trying to do the IMAX.
And yet his movies still look just as good, if not better.
Yeah, but the thing is, Christopher Nolan's
technology has to offer today.
Okay, so Christopher Nolan's trying to bring what the feeling we had when we first went to the movies, that we're kind of jaded.
I don't think so.
I do. He's doing film.
Well, I disagree.
Remember back in the day when you go to the movie when you're a kid and the massive screen. Right now, we got used to that. Let's be fair. So Christopher Nolan is bringing it to IMAX. He's bringing that spectacular.
I have another prediction too.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Dune. My friend Lunga, he's been talking about Denis Villeneuve's Dune, and it's
Warner Brothers is going to do that. Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think when we finally see a trailer, it's going to knock everyone out socks off. He's really going to bring it. Robert,
real quick, what do you think is going to be?
I would love to see something from the Conjuring universe.
Okay.
I believe we're going to see a Halloween Kills trailer. Yep. Possibly a Ghostbusters. And I wrote one more down. I think that was it. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to. I would love to see, especially with all the rumors about Halloween Kills, with test screenings being, going so well, and
we're gonna get a Halloween Kills. Will we get a test screening for that? No,
it won't be a test screening. No,
I want something for Mission Impossible 7.
When does it come out?
I think 2021, right?
Not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give my prediction real quick. We're gonna get Wonder Woman. We're something more with Wonder Woman. We're gonna get something. What else is coming in DC? We're gonna get something. The Batman. We're gonna get finally the official announcement on what's going on with Deadpool with Disney's presentation. I think that's gonna be announced.
Mission Impossible 7 is July 2021.
I don't think we're gonna get anything till possibly Comic-Con regarding Deadpool.
No, I think it's gonna get announced what it's gonna be. Not any footage. I'm not talking footage.
No, not footage. But I think they're gonna hold off probably till Comic-Con because they got all the time in the world with it right now.
And then we're gonna get something Star Wars.
No.
Yes, we are.
You think we're gonna get something Star Wars?
Disney's got to bring something, man. They got to bring something to that presentation.
This is cinemas only.
No. It's Cinemacon. It's for movies.
Did Bob Iger not say they're not going to be doing films for a while?
Yeah, but then he announced like 3 different directors. He announced Kevin Feige. Hey, we're not making Star Wars. By the way, Kevin Feige is going to make a movie. Okay. We're not making any more Star Wars. Taika Waititi. Hey, we're not making Star Wars.
Taika Waititi has never been announced for a Star Wars movie, Lewis.
It was rumored.
It's rumored.
What about the one they announced the other day?
Yeah, this is all stuff that's gonna.
That wasn't an
happen.
announcement. There's a report that they're developing scripts. That doesn't mean like you know they were developing an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie script before it became a TV series.
What are they going to be doing at Celebration? Nothing. Indiana Jones. That would be good.
They might. I don't know.
All right.
Well, they haven't started filming Indiana Jones, have they?
They were saying they're going to start, but
it's supposed to start sometime this year.
So they could announce like the title and who will be in it, but they won't have any footage.
No footage, absolutely none.
Unless it started filming, so they can make announcements at Cinemacon or Comic-Con, but we'll see.
I'm sure they would make an announcement if they really are going to start filming this year, but there's no footage.
Lewis, as for Celebration, they could announce. I mean, we haven't seen any of Cassian Andor and K2SO, so they can probably show something with that.
They won't, because it's like Robert said, it's only for stuff that's in theaters.
That's streaming.
Yeah. And so basically, their con floor.
No, I'm talking about Celebration later.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
later on.
Hey, you know, Max,
and Mandalorian season 2.
Max, I think this is a good topic for your channel. Is why was the announcement for the Cassian Andor show met with such negativity when that is considered the best Star Wars movie under Disney?
I don't think the reaction was negativity.
I saw a lot of people saying they were negative about it.
I think you're projecting, Lewis.
Well, it was the timing.
Yeah,
right after what happened with Obi-Wan, that Obi-Wan's fallen through, and then they're saying about bringing Cassian Andor back, and now that might not happen either. There's still here's my theory. I have lots of theories on my channel. Kathy Kennedy and Bob Iger are on completely different pages, and you know what? Based on the proofs in the pudding. Based on what's been happening, I trust Iger. It's in a slowdown in the movies.
Yeah.
And she still has free reign to create whatever she wants. She still has to, at the end of the day, to get the money coming in and to get the green light and production started, she has to go to Alan Horn and Iger. And they're
getting all those movies out was Iger's doing.
What's that?
Getting all those movies out a year was Iger's doing, though. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
Because they real quick, that was the whole point. They promised shareholders we're going to release a new Star Wars movie every year.
Okay, let's go to
until Solo.
Our final topic, and I think someone else just popped in. Let me check real quick. I knew it.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's going on?
Matt, what's up?
Don't fucking put me full screen. What the hell's wrong with you?
Everyone's so sleepy.
Oh, I just did an 1.5 hour long live stream, so
yeah.
Covering
that's when we were
BS Project Luminous. My God, that was boring.
Well, we were feeding your live feed in here, and we were just chilling eating popcorn.
Oh, good. I had 100.
Is a power broker. He's meeting Bernie Sanders.
He's
getting a piece of his campaign. He's feeling the burn.
When did you
a week ago, I went to his rally.
Oh, awesome, man! Congratulations.
Yeah, that was a long day.
Yeah, cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. What the? Wow. That wasn't me. Matt is very passionate, so don't laugh at him.
What? No, I yawned. I'm not yawning at you. I'm just. I have a cold.
Somebody yawned at you.
Sorry,
no,
Matt.
I have a cold.
Okay, real quick.
So.
Let's move on to our next thing. So we have this New York toy thing going on. Let me get it on screen.
It's the annual New York Toy Fair, where all of the major toy companies and smaller ones go to make deals, pitch their ideas, and promote and release, or not release, but give you a glimpse of their upcoming toy line for the upcoming year.
Oh, dude, I want that. I've already started collecting these, and I'll put them. I'll display them in the background eventually. But I want this. So they have the new Wave 2. What do you guys?
Wouldn't it be cool if they did the Mando in this style too? Even though he wasn't, I would like that.
Oh my God! Look, that's the Yoda.
Nice throwback.
Oh yeah.
That's creepy.
Oh my God.
They're doing this. They're doing this for Ghostbusters as well. They're doing a re-release of the Kenner Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters figures.
I saw that. Yeah, real Ghostbusters figures as well.
Look at this. It's
See, I would get a couple figures in this style, but not
like that one.
not all of them.
Yeah.
okay. Now we're getting more into the articulate ones.
That's
These
the
are-
Black Series.
That's the Black Series. That's 6-inch.
Yeah, those
this
are
is
Black
going to be
Series.
more Walmart.
I think it's good for people who want like a more retro, nostalgic style. I think if you're into collecting that, I think it's
this
good.
one I don't like. This one I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is he looks too tall. He looks like a big regular size.
I have the hyper real Luke Skywalker pre-ordered, which is the more like it's like a Mezco figure.
For a retro collection, I would probably just get a few. Like I would get a Boba Fett, or I would get a like a Jedi Luke Skywalker. I would get a couple.
I want this right here.
Ooh,
That is available now, I believe. I believe it's available now.
You have 10 of them, don't you?
I don't have any. I've looked and I can't find it.
Well, don't put them in your storage, dude.
Well, I do have the Sideshow Collectibles one, which is actually really, really cool.
Is this a real lightsaber? Is that what is this? Deluxe? No, this is okay. This is
it's a real lightsaber, Lewis. It's a real.
This is not Kylo Ren.
lightsaber.
It's not Kylo Ren. It's one of the Knights of the Old Republic, right? Which character is this? Darth Raven.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. What, Jeffrey? Are you telling me this isn't real?
I was looking at this the other day, and that
it's real as in you can pick it up and you can like swing it around, but it's not. It doesn't. It can't cut off. It can't cut anything. It's not an actual laser blade.
Gentlemen, I gotta step out and do something real quick, but feel free to take over the podcast. I'll be right back. What do you guys think of those toys, Matt?
Matt, I want to know what you thought of the season premiere of Clone Wars, since you love the prequels and Clone Wars.
Well, I did do a video about it yesterday, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
and I actually rewatched the episode again this morning. I really like it. I really like.
I like the Bad Batch too.
Yeah. I thought they were. a lot of fun. I love how Hunter looks like Rambo.
That was what I said in my review.
And I agree. The clones are like my favorite part of that show. Like Bradley Baker does such a good job giving each one personality. I
thought it was interesting. Tech has a lighter, is it just me or does he have a lighter complexion than the other one?
He does. But then look at Crosshair. Crosshair has silver hair and his face is more elongated.
Right.
So these are just, and then look at Wreck. Wreck is
huge.
Huge. So
I actually should head out because my pal Lunga is doing a stream too.
But
let Lewis know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But Tamir, they're all based on Tamura Morrison, and Tech looked just, but he looked far different than any of the other clones.
Well, they have desirable mutations, so they're going to look different. It's kind of
I'm just curious, what caused the discoloration and the skin?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care.
No, I find it fascinating though, Matt.
Well, it's one of those things where it's they're just different. They differentiate from each other. So let them. That's the good thing about it. And they're just different personality types. Hey Max, if you got a bail, dude, it's all good. I'll tell Lewis.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm happy to see you too, Matt. I hope you feel better soon. I am always happy to collab with all you guys. This was great.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, Jeffrey, man, you come in hot with this hot takes. I love it.
All hail the great Victor Von Doom.
So I'd love to come back to speak with all you. Tell Lewis thank you.
Man. All right, brother.
Bye.
See, I have to say though, my webcam looks okay in this quality.
Yeah, I agree.
Otherwise, and this is my 720. It's StreamYard is hit or miss for me.
I can't tell, Matt. What hat are you wearing? Is it?
It's a Star Wars one. Okay. It's one I picked up at Comic-Con 2017, and it's like the MLB logo, but instead of baseball.
Okay, I get it now. See, from the angle I was looking at, I'm like, what is that? Overwatch League? What?
No,
I couldn't tell. Yeah, no. Now I can see the Stormtrooper.
Yeah, it gets me a lot of people comment on it quite often. Like, oh, that's a dope hat. I'm like, yeah, I bought it at Comic-Con. And they're like, the Comic-Con? And I'm all like, yeah.
Some people were upset that Clone Wars didn't start out with Ahsoka or anything, even though we know we're going to see her later.
I'm okay without Ahsoka. I just finished up season 5. before watching season 7. I know I have to go watch season 6, but I felt finishing 5 was a good place to then jump over to 7. And so I'm going to go back this week and watch those other episodes. I had to finish Harley Quinn too.
Didn't Max take off?
Yeah, he said he had to go to
he had to go.
Lunga stream.
Okay, yeah, man. Sorry.
Everyone does all these live streams, man. Fuck.
No, man, the guy's on fire, man. I really enjoy his stuff. So I'm gonna go and check him out after our stream.
I thought it was, you know what I thought was interesting? The way the Bad Batch call the other clones regs.
Yeah.
Even among the clones, they're very different, and they look down on the other clones, and they call, like, you know, calling them regs. That's kind of racist, actually, or clonist. It's clonist.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, they're calling them regulars. It's just.
Is that an original release, Lewis?
No, it's the re-release. It's a retro, man. They look great. Look at that. I have an entire set.
Oh, is that the new ones they're doing? Is that like the new ones they're doing?
No, they're bringing in Boba Fett. Look at that. That Stormtrooper. I should have gotten like 10 of these though. The Stormtroopers. When did they release these? I'm not sure. Do you know, Robert? You're more into.
That wasn't. Oh gosh, I think that was maybe a few years ago, sometime around Celebration 2017.
You know what I just realized is that Luke's lightsaber originally is, in fact, yellow, and everyone was freaking out. Oh no, they're trying to make Luke Skywalker's lightsaber yellow like Rey's. So check this out right here.
Yeah, as I recall, that was the color for the first toys back in the 70s, right?
Yeah,
the yellow
these are
lightsaber
original
back then.
On the, they're mimicking the original mold.
Right.
The painting and everything, and then Chewie. No neck Chewie right there. So,
yeah, those toys, they're products of their times, but they had a lot of character.
Yeah, they seem to, I don't know, they gave more effort or something. They just felt different.
Well, limited articulation and like likenesses, but they were fun, and you could like create, you could get every character from the films too. Plus
Matt,
the vehicles and the playsets.
Matt, thanks for coming in here. How were we sounding before you came in? All right.
You sounded. I listened. I listened for like a hot second before I forgot that I had. Yeah, I thought you forgot you sent me a link.
Yeah. So what else? What else is on your channel today? $3 Theater.
The Marvel DC merger thing.
I saw that. You think it's crap?
Yeah, man. I think it's AT&T putting it out there. I think AT&T is trying to drive up demand to DC Comics.
So there's that.
Wait, why would AT&T want to sell off like their
because it doesn't make any money. DC makes money. DC Publishing doesn't make money.
DC Entertainment, but if you get rid of, so you're saying you get rid of the publishing division?
Yeah.
But then how they would keep the they would keep the IP. How would that work?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I had, what I had said is in my video. I said, looking, like if you want a perfect example, a prime example of why this is not happening, look at the deal between Sony and Marvel, right? But you got to go back to the 90s too, because back in the day, when Sony bought the rights, they also had the merchandise rights for Spider-Man, And what happened with that was Sony needed some cash. And they wanted to do Amazing Spider-Man. And so they worked a deal with Marvel where they basically traded over the merchandising rights for the film licensing rights. Because even though Sony purchased the rights to distribute the film, that's the only thing they have the rights to is just to distribute the film. So they still had to pay Marvel the licensing rights every time they wanted to make a movie. And so then they just traded. So Disney got the merchandise rights, which they made far more money off that than by doing the other stuff. And they don't want to sit there and mess with those deals. Disney wants to own it all or nothing.
Why would they sell? I just don't get why you would sell off the publishing and want to deal with all that.
Because you don't actually want to do that, right? What they want to do, what's happening is this thing called 5G. And Generation 5, whatever you want to call it. And what is...
What about death metal?
I don't know I don't know what?
Death metal.
Nothing to do with what I'm talking about is death metal. Are you talking about like the music or is there an actual comic or what? I don't know. Are you making? I don't know if you're making a joke, Jeffrey. You have to fill me in.
I think it's a DC. It was a DC Comics event of some sort.
I don't know. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So what I'm
Dark
talking
Knight's Death Metal.
Nothing to do with what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is an event. It's an event called 5G, or it's known as Generation 5 or Generation 0. It depends on who you talk to. This is a complete reimagining of the DC universe. It's kind of this new 52 rebirth situation again, which is what DC likes to do. So they're hoping that by making Superman Jonathan Kent, not Clark Kent, and they're changing other characters around, I think it's going to be a black Batman. I forget who's. Oh no, Lucius Fox's kid is going to be the new Batman. Luke Fox, I think is who it is.
Batwing.
And no, he's going to be Batman.
But he was Batwing before.
But in the new comic line, he's going to be Batman. Yeah. Anyway, they're hoping to make this a big event and make a lot of money. But the thing is, they're going to be selling these books at a rumored cost of $8 a pop. People aren't going to spend $8 for that kind of crap. So, and AT&T, the rumor coming in from Ethan Van Sciver, who's been known to embellish a factoid or two. He says that if it fails, then they're going to probably sell off DC Comics. But the thing is, they're not going to sell it. They're just going to shut it down. They're just going to shut down the publisher and occasionally put out stuff through maybe an imprint or something.
Do you think they will actually shut down DC Comics?
No, not in the way that we know. Maybe they'll slow it down because there's some money in it. But
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say something right here though. Every major publishing effort they've done in the last 10 years has been devastating. I think it started with Blackest Night and Brightest Day, and then New 52 and Flashpoint, and then the Rebirth garbage. All of that, it was all nonsense. And I after New 52, I left and never came back. New 52 was utter tripe.
Yeah,
it was tripe. There were some, and you want to know what? Not all of it was. There were some good books and good stories here and there in New 52. But I mean, why would you even do that? It didn't work.
I don't know, man. I don't really read a lot of comics, so I can't tell you. What I can tell you is that all things considered, it does seem to make a fair amount of sense that we are going to see some kind of of shifting in DC Comics, and I think Marvel is doing very similar things. But DC, look, HBO Max is where they want to take things, right? The CW shows, those make money. The movies will make money. I mean, maybe not everything, not Birds of Prey, but they'll make money otherwise. And I think they're going to be changing up some stuff, so it should be pretty interesting.
Is this good or bad? Is this good or bad though, Matt?
For Marvel, it's going to be good, less competition. But for DC, it's no, man. They're circling a drain with the entire property anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, why would Marvel not do the same? Not long from now,
because they're still. I mean, you can go look at the numbers and see that they're still pulling in numbers.
Better numbers than DC.
I think in some cases, yeah, other cases, no. I mean, some books have a lot of fans. What it boils down to overall is whether or not there's merch that's selling, right? So in the case of Marvel, like Spider-Man's their number one, and in DC it's Batman, and then it's Harley Quinn. So they make a lot of money on merch, and they're going to keep that going. But I don't know what I think. In 10 years, comic books as we know them are going to be gone. I think we're going to get them still digitally, but the publishing side of things is going to, you're not going to see as much of it anymore.
Okay. Sorry about that, Lewis.
Oh, no problem, man. It's part of the fun. But anyways, I think we've been on for over an hour and a half. We've had a pretty good amount of viewers for us. We had some special guests, so you guys could watch the entire broadcast or feed or live cast or whatever you want to call it after if you just tuned in in the middle of it. We got Matt coming in a little late. Thank you, Matt, once again for showing up.
Yeah, no problem, man.
And follow Matt over there at 3 Buck Theater and on his Twitter. It's a lot of fun. Jeffrey, where can people follow you?
Can check out my reviews and articles at 411mania.com. On YouTube, I am Hollywood Purgatory, and Twitter at Wheeljack83.
And Robert Garcia.
Writing for Nuke the Fridge. Check out that website. It's a great website that we work on. So we'll be covering Cinemacon very soon, and a bunch of Comic Cons and WonderCons and all the cons. And also my Instagram is Swinging Eighth Note. Hey, check it out.
Also, don't forget we have the question on our Twitter is: are you going to buy the Blu-ray for the Rise of Skywalker?
I am.
But the poll will go and vote, man, at the Nerd Report. That's at the Nerd Report on Twitter. We have the poll going on. I think the yes is kicking ass now, so that's a good thing to hear. And you can follow me at NerdLecca on Twitter and Instagram. You could also watch our videos, everyone collaborating here on the Nerd Report. So subscribe if you have not subscribed. Hit the notification bell. And usually none of that ever works to get the algorithm right. So what you have to do is just search for Nerd Report.
Hey, do you want to do one thing before you climb out?
Let's do it.
So Star Wars just dropped a 4-minute trailer for the High Republic.
Okay, let's do a trailer reaction right now live.
All right, let me there we go. All right, are we up?
You got the sound going?
I got the sound going.
All right.
Okay.
All
right.
We're finding ourselves at a very exciting moment with the Skywalker saga coming to an end. We're at a place of what's next for Star Wars. One of the things we've always done is be able to use our franchise platforms to explore the creative potential in the Star Wars galaxy. And so what if publishing was more of an incubation place and bring in great talent and just let their imaginations run free? We put together a really unique writer's room where we had diverse voices with very different opinions about Star Wars.
We all love Star Wars, but we're all coming in from very different places.
This has been a very free environment for everybody to just throw things out there.
We've all done lots of storytelling, but this is unique and really special.
The idea that this thing has been simmering for so long.
It's the secret history of the galaxy.
Yep, it goes way back to the beginning of Star Wars.
We gave them essentially a blank slate. What would you like to tell?
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice.
A line that we've been hearing since 1977, and we thought, what does that look like?
It is a golden age where there's much more peace and calm in the galaxy. So we're calling it the High Republic.
The description that we've used for the Jedi of this era is that they are the Jedi Knights of the Round Table.
But Star Wars isn't just about Jedi, and we will tell stories of new smugglers, new scoundrels, new bounty hunters.
The threat and the tension really comes from the Republic's borders, because the Republic does not extend from one side of the galaxy to the other.
It's a bit of a Wild West new frontier. We see a different kind of Jedi that patrols the frontiers and is more of a Texas Ranger.
We're now bringing in concept artists, illustrators, and visualists, the same way that you would when you're making a movie.
We even had Ian McKay come down and just do sketch after sketch for us. When you have the guy who designed the look for Darth Maul sketching Jedi for you, it doesn't get any cooler than this.
The scale of this initiative is really new for us. We're going to have stories for adults and teens and kids.
We're building this out simultaneously across multiple publishers. It gives us the ability to tell vast interconnected stories across multiple years. There will be a core group of heroes that will expand over time. There'll be villains.
Our main villain are the group called the Nile. We kind of like to refer to them as space Vikings.
Their motto is, you can't take it with you, but we can take it from you. Our story starts with what we're calling the Great Disaster.
It wouldn't be Star Wars without adventure. And there's definitely a series of events that will spin the galaxy into a dangerous new direction, and it'll give the opportunity for heroes to rise up.
The cool thing about this is that there's going to be a story for every Star Wars fan. It's really fun to be able to keep readers on their toes. This era is ripe for storytelling. The eureka moment was the question, what scares the Jedi? And that made us all go, ooh, something wicked this way comes.
Well, all right.
It's a publishing initiative.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a publishing initiative. So.
All right. Well,
comics and the like.
Yeah, you can tell Lewis is bored. He's like reading.
No. Well, would you think?
The way Reddit
I liked it.
This was supposed to be like This was supposed to be multi.
It's the first phase. It's the first phase. Look, let's be realistic here. What's going to come from this? It's going to be new initiative. The publishing initiative is to reestablish the core audience, right? Go back to 2015 in the fall of 2015. You know, they had Triple Force Friday. It was all the toys, right? I forget what they called the release of the books, but there were all of these supplemental material that came out leading up to The Force Awakens, right?
Yep. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, Aftermath books, all those things. Well, I think the first Aftermath book, and then there's a more that followed. But there's other stories that like allowed you to kind of get to know where things were before they shoved you into this movie. This is the same thing. But they're taking like 3 years to get there, or 2.5 years to get there. You know, this is like the longest. This is really setting up continuity. Think of it like this: diehard fans are going to dive into this thing and they're going to fucking devour it, right? And they're going to go, "Oh my god, that was so cool!" And they're going to tell casual fans, and then casual fans might pick it up. And then if casual fans get in on the action, then that's going to establish all this lore that will then get people excited for the next movie. And this is all a lead in to make a lot of money on the next movie.
Yeah.
Right now, though, my initial reaction of that presentation looks like a generic Disney thing. Doesn't look like
nothing about that gets me excited at all.
No, it looks very, which is not a bad thing because Disney does have good stuff, but it doesn't feel like this is another film company that's Lucasfilm. It just feels like this is Disney project.
Let me put it to you like this then.
Robert will know what I'm talking about. That felt like a Pixar presentation, not Lucasfilm. Like that's what I felt like that, which isn't a bad thing because Pixar's awesome and Disney Pictures is awesome, but it felt like that as far as that presentation's concerned.
It felt generic. It felt like a generic corporate propaganda piece, basically.
Well, okay. So, but listen to what they said. There's.
I just love the way Jeffrey just says it.
There's a lot there that you have to pick apart. Okay. Yeah. Again, the devil is in the details. So what do they say? This takes place a couple hundred years before the events of the Skywalker saga. Awesome. I believe at the event they said 200 years. Mm-hmm. Right. So not 400, 200. Okay, fine. This is going to take place when the Republic is still expanding. Therefore, there's still going to be like the Wild West regions where there will be peace and prosperity, but the Jedi are still going to be out there patrolling, and keeping things in line, right? Kind of how we want to view the Jedi, how we've always kind of wanted to see them as like these Lone Ranger types, or the wandering samurai type situation, So you've got that, and then they said that it's going to be like the Jedi Knights of the Round Table. Mm-hmm. So now we're talking about Arthurian legend. And Arthurian legend is dope, dude. Right?
If you explained this to me, it sounds really cool. But the way this was presented with this video, it's good for a Disney product, but it doesn't feel like distinguishable, in my opinion, that this is another entity. This is Lucasfilm.
It didn't sell me on why I should be excited about High Republic.
Well, they only gave you a tease. They only gave you a
beginning was
tease.
good.
The tease I think works. It's again, what do you guys know about Arthurian legend? Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, Lancelot, Gawain. Huh?
Chivalrous steeds.
Yeah, right. But it's myth, right? It's larger than life. It's all these myths and all these adventures and all of these things you don't know what you're fighting. Right. So then they talked about the bad guys, the Nihil, whatever they're called, right? The Nihil. And they're basically space Vikings. Dude, space Vikings sound cool. Yeah. Okay. And their motto, did you hear their motto? You can't take it with you, but we can take it from you.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, okay, now we know that these guys are going to be very merciless. They're going to take what they want. They're going to rape. They're going to pillage.
Don't tell me what it is. Like, show me. Like, if I
it's just, they're doing this a tease right now. The idea is to get it's a book, so it's like you got to get your imagination into it.
These novels, these Star Wars novels, do like phenomenally well with fans, with hardcore fans.
High Republic, though, are they making movies?
What was your question, Jeffrey? You cut off.
Are they making movies about High Republic?
That's the rumor. The next one.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Yeah, it's having to do with the Republic, but I mean, these are just basically the novels that lead you into the next set of movies. Just like Matt was saying, like with taking us into the Force Awakens in 2015. All this is
I'm gonna
just
say
bridging
this,
the
guys.
gap.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put myself right here. Hopefully this works. I feel a little sad. I feel like Star Wars is done. That presentation doesn't feel like Star Wars to me. I love Star Wars, but I know the show has to go on to another generation of people, younger kids. We talked to the people in their 20s, love the prequels. It was already not speaking to me at that point. I still gonna enjoy this stuff, but right now, hold on a second. I feel this presentation at the beginning got my attention. But George Lucas, no matter how much I criticize them, I feel bad for doing that right now, but it just does not feel no connection to John Williams, the mystery, the magic. I don't feel it here, guys. I just don't. I'm sorry.
It was a 4-minute still image presentation talking about the overall world.
I don't feel it, bro.
Like, I mean, does it need to be handed to you on a silver platter with like literally everything explained?
It did explain. That's a problem. It explained everything. It's like, okay, but the animation looks the wrong way. Like the background music looks the wrong way.
Well, I mean,
coupled by the goddamn, we didn't plan out the fucking trilogy.
But
this is a straw, bro. This is a straw.
This is the way
that breaks camels' backs.
Disney does their movies, and we've seen it with Pixar. It's like a fishbowl of ideas.
There's no distinguish fucking shit. There's no distinguishable.
We don't have anything yet. We don't have anything to go yet.
Marvel's great. Marvel's great, but I don't want it to look like Star Wars because Star Wars is Star Wars, Marvel is Marvel, Disney Pictures is Disney Pictures, Pixar is Pixar. It's too much for them to handle or something. They need more creatives, more variety to make the shit look different.
That's just what that was. It was diversity and creativity.
Doesn't feel like it feels like.
I mean, look what happens when we have one guy write and direct a Star Wars movie. We get the fucking Phantom Menace. We get.
But we get a vision. But we got a vision.
Yeah,
we got to start in the beginning. But we always were waiting for Darth Vader to come, no matter what. We knew they were bad, but we knew Darth Vader was coming. This feels like like no matter how bad. Okay, you walk into the Phantom Menace, you take that step that you could fall off a ledge, right? That you don't know it's dark and you're walking and you could get the ground falls off from under you. But there's this notion that, hey, at the end of the dark tunnel or whatever you're walking in the dark, Vader's coming, the Empire's coming, Luke's coming. Right now, I don't know what's coming. I feel like I'm just gonna fall over, man.
So basically, what you're saying. Good. So you're essentially saying that you don't know what's going on. So the human response is to destroy it.
I'm not destroying it. I said it's
Well,
not for me.
no, you can't.
I'm
Well,
not
no,
saying it's gonna suck.
well, no, you can't say it's not for you. You don't know what it is. You just said you don't know what it is, so you can't say
This
it's
is
not
not
for
presented. This presentation does not.
Well, it didn't
get
blow
me
your
excited.
skirt up. It didn't give you a fucking erection. But at the same time,
Everything
it's like,
Star Wars has. Everything Star Wars has.
has it though?
Trailer wise,
has it?
Not everything. Not everything.
Trailer wise,
it just looks like they're trying to do their own version of Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, as like a series of books. Is kind of what it looks like.
Kind of, and it's fine. I mean, like, look, I'm looking through the official Star Wars page in it right now. It says that it's not going to overlap with anything that's happening, that's been filmed, or what's currently in production.
I'm fine with that.
So that could be its own thing, but it's kind of
Yeah.
like let's be realistic here. It's going to tie into the movies.
Eventually, something.
Eventually, it's going to totally tie. If it's popular, it's going to tie into the movie. It makes no sense to like go through this whole thing. We're doing this massive fucking thing and not have it tie into anything.
Well, I'm just not. This video didn't get me teased or excited, really. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's just basically like an infomercial saying, "Hey, we're still working on Star Wars stuff." I think that's basically all it is.
I mean, of course they are.
I know, but
want.
the thing is that if they don't put something out, the consensus among a lot of people is like, oh, Star Wars is dead for now, and nothing's going on with it because we're not hearing anything about feature films. When there's still a lot going on.
We were told
is this happening because this is what Rian Johnson's films are going to be.
We were told that we were getting a Star Wars movie once a year. One was going to be a standalone. The other one was going to be part of a bigger picture, which were the trilogies. We got that pulled right off under us. I'm not happy to get this instead. And then you're lying to yourselves, guys, if you're cool with this. And we were promised that awesome thing that was going great until Rogue One. I mean, this is what we're getting instead of the Rogue One thing.
Iger himself has said that he felt that they've already oversaturated the market.
They haven't. They've oversaturated with stuff that's not interesting. They gotta open up the stuff. Like they gotta open up what Star Wars full potential is. A lot of Sith versus a lot of Jedis. Star Wars is a big universe, man. They've been stuck on one little thing: lightsaber duel. Rey versus Kylo Ren. I like Kylo Ren. I like Rey. But what did they fought 4 times? There's nothing else to there. Give us, Knights of Ren. Get us the Knights of Ren. What did they do? Knights of Ren versus Rey and
Knights of Ren story in the comics.
What?
They're telling the Knights of Ren
that story. That story is currently ongoing in the Rise of Kylo Ren comics.
And a couple years ago, the company abolished the entire stories, the legend, the expanded universe. Yeah. So why should I take that serious?
Because now Disney has it, and everything that Disney has since published is now canon.
Yeah.
The history's not there, though.
The what?
Yeah, but we just got shown. We just got shown that stuff could just be erased.
They're building the history out now.
All right, well, fine. I mean, maybe it works out. Hopefully it does. I'm still a Star Wars fan, but this does not look like something,
It just looks like an infomercial, just basically saying, hey, we're still working on stuff, guys. Stay tuned, kind of thing. That's all it looks like to me.
I don't know why this time period seems so interesting.
Past?
No, why it's like 200 or 400 years before.
Because it gives them the freedom. Without being tied to the prequel
why
not really, because it still has to go to. Okay, so 200 years they said right in the trailer.
Right. No, someone on Twitter had said 200 years. That's
not that much. What was it? The prequels took place within a 20-year span, 30-year span. What was it?
Prequels took place over the course of, I believe, 15 years. So
Anakin was 15. I don't buy that.
No, Anakin was like, what was he, 8?
Oh, okay, 9? I get what you're saying.
In the first movie,
like 9 years old.
Yeah, I get what
and then it was like 10 years after that, and then it was like another 3 years. Oh, 3 years between Phantom, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith.
But then 18 years before Revenge of the Sith,
and then 19 years. Yeah.
So no, Phantom Menace took place 32 years before A New Hope. Basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they should be going back even further in time.
The DeLorean broke, so they can't.
I want to hear about like the creation of the Republic and all that. And I want
to hear about the creation of the Jedi.
I want the 1,000 Years of Darkness. I want the war between the Sith and the Jedi. Since we know there was a war or something, there was some sort of great battle.
Wonder Duck says, I was just talking about this on Twitter. This is officially Disney's Star Wars. It doesn't have anything to connect with anything. It's Disney's playground. All right.
All right. Well, guys, that's it for me for tonight.
What?
I'm signing off now. I'm sorry I've been so opinionated.
No, that's cool, bro. We like.
I have great respect for all of you, Matt, Lewis, Robert.
Thanks, man.
May the force be with you always.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you, Jeffrey.
Here's my force sign. Right here.
Yeah, I gotta call it too. I gotta get my kids in bed.
Oh my God. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Matt, let's stay on for 3 minutes.
All right, fine.
See ya. All right, man. So that was wild. I'm glad you liked that, though. I'm glad you liked the presentation, bro. You always look at the positive stuff of things, you know?
Maybe. Well, I'm trying just to see, like, you know, I'm just trying to see what's going on with it.
Yeah.
And kind of like thumbing through the video right now, some of the concept art that they've been showing. And to see what's going on with all that.
Intergalactic Mojito says Jeffrey's opinions are awesome. Yes, I like the way he's so like direct, right? We're actually live streaming on the Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
At the same
time. You have anyone watching on Facebook right now?
What are you watching?
No, I was on the YouTube page.
Oh yeah, you can watch on that channel. Anyways, are people liking the new presentation?
Well, they delayed it, man, by like fucking 40 minutes.
Right.
They're like, oh, it starts at 6, but the presentation begins at 7. I'm like, all right, cool, 6:45, I go live, and then like by 7:40, it was like, you know, I had to go out and do stuff tonight, and I ended up not being able to, and then I'm just like, I have a headache. I'm like, this whatever, and then I jumped on here.
Yeah. So we had Max on earlier, and he had a guest as well. He brought in. We had a good conversation. So
who was the guest?
Shoot, I forgot her name, and I hate that because it's based on a Star Wars character. Which
was it? Bashti.
Bashni. There we go.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
Apologies if you're watching that I forgot the name, but that's the way I am. I should have blocked more punches during my boxing career.
No, there's a lot of interesting artwork that's coming out of this thing.
Right. And where are they showing this? Just on the StarWars.com or?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. They have some like artwork and some descriptions and like, you know, it's the first initiative is going to be called The Light of the Jedi. I think that's the first book, but it's called like, it's let's see here. So it's set in a time when the Jedi are at the zenith, right? So about 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. And this is around the same time, I think, with Darth. Well, I don't know if Darth Bane had already done the Rule of Two. But the idea there is that they want to make sure that everyone has the ability to, like, you know, not. They want to make sure that everyone, you know, they don't want to overlap a lot of stuff, you know. So I get that.
Yeah.
So they've got they've got the book here, Into the Dark by Claudia Gray, which is a young adult novel, and that one says it's Padawan Reith Silas is being sent from the cosmopolitan galactic capital of Coruscant to the undeveloped frontier, and he couldn't be less happy about it. He'd rather stay at the Jedi Temple studying the archives, but when the ship he's traveling on is knocked out of hyperspace in a galactic-wide disaster, Reith finds himself at the center of the action. The Jedi and their traveling companions find refuge on what appears to be an abandoned space station, but then strange things start happening, leading the Jedi to investigate the truth behind the mysterious station, a truth that can end in tragedy. See, that's interesting. And this is stuff we're probably never going to see in movies, right? This is just all going to be.
You see how this guy right here on screen, he looks like John Bernthal.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all that's going on.
Yeah,
with
the
that
designs
right
look pretty cool, man. Now that I look at it, I mean, I just want the damn movies. You know, we were promised movies. I want movies.
Well, I think they're trying to reset it. So
yeah, these designs are cool right here. So, anyways, Matt, I'm gonna shut down the stream here. I think we've been going on for way too long, 2 hours, which is pretty damn cool. I like going on, but we're just coming to that time.
Yeah.
We just have to call it a night. But I want to thank everyone for watching. We'll talk to you guys later. Nerd out.